Hello and welcome to Express News with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you all the latest news and updates from the country and the world in 30 minutes. Let's begin. Indian President Draupadi Murmu flagged off 3 new trains and marked the commencement of the redevelopment of the Badampahar railway station in the Indian state of Odisha. President also inaugurated a skill training centre in the Mayurbhanj district of Odisha. She also visited SLS Memorial Residential School and interacted with the students. Today is the last day of a 2-day official visit to the state. President Draupadi Murmu graced the 15th convocation of Veer Surendra Sai University of Technology as the chief guest. She awarded gold medals to the students and also delivered a convocation speech. Ahead of the upcoming Assembly election, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed rallies in the different regions of the north-western state of Rajasthan. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds a roadshow in the Pink City, Jaipur of Rajasthan as massive crowds gather to welcome him. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong held 14th Foreign Ministerial Framework Dialogue in New Delhi. The two sides took stock of bilateral cooperation under the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership and also exchanged views on regional and global issues of mutual interest. Both the leaders addressed the joint press conference of the 14th Foreign Ministerial Framework Dialogue in New Delhi today. They expressed their shared commitment for an open, inclusive, stable and prosperous Indo-Pacific. Australian Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles and Foreign Minister Penny Wong met India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval in New Delhi. The two sides discussed a range of issues including global and regional developments as well as bilateral security and defence cooperation. In the ongoing Silkyara tunnel collapse, rescue officials have successfully developed communication with trapped workers through endoscopic flexi cameras attached with 6-inch pipeline. The families of the workers also interacted with their respective members stuck in the tunnel. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi took cognizance of the relief and rescue operations which are currently underway. The Chief Minister informed Prime Minister about the late updates and the delivery of food and other essential items to the workers. In a press conference on the Uttarakhand tunnel rescue, a member of the National Disaster Management Authority updated that apart from the survival food, medicine and other essentials, the government has made sure that international experts are called in for their additional advice. On day 2 of the 54th edition of IFFI, India's Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Anurag Singh Thakur, launched 48-hour film challenge as part of 3rd edition of 75 Creative Minds of Tomorrow. For the first time in the history of Film Bazaar, a VFX and Tech Pavilion was inaugurated by our I&B Minister Anurag Singh Thakur. The pavilion will showcase some of the most dynamic, immersive and cutting-edge advances in filmmaking technology. A virtual T20 Leader Summit chaired by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be held on Wednesday. The meeting will be focused on climate change and other adoption of green energy. The 2-day Global Fisheries Conference India 2023 began in Western Indian city of Ahmedabad, marking the World Fisheries Day. The theme of the conference is celebrating fisheries and aquaculture wealth. India's Apex Court said that Punjab government's report suggests that 8,481 meetings have been held with farmers and farm leaders to convince them to not burn paddy straws. Over 1,000 FIRs have been registered and a fine of over 2 crore rupees have also been imposed. As per the recent report by Indian Journal of Medical Research, India's COVID-19 vaccination did not increase the risk of sudden deaths. Reports suggest that receiving 1 dose of COVID-19 vaccination reduced the odds of unexplained sudden death. The 11th edition of International Tourism Mart is being held at Shillong in northeastern state of Meghalaya. It is an annual event held by the ministry in one of the northeastern states. The Viksit Bharat Yatra, an ambitious initiative by Government of India, aims to reach every village council in India and will commence on the 22nd of November, covering thousands of locations in northern Indian states such as Punjab, Haryana and Himachal Pradesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi flagged off IEC vans on the 15th of November to disseminate knowledge on welfare programs. India's Parliamentary Affairs Ministry has invited all the citizens to participate in the Constitution quiz and online reading of the preamble. To celebrate the Constitution Day this year, the ministry has made 2 web portals operational to ensure maximum participation. All the participants will get a certificate. US President Joe Biden has indicated that an agreement might be imminent involving Hamas releasing hostages from Gaza in exchange for pause in Israel's offensive. The International Red Cross President Mirjana Spolarek met Hamas leaders in Qatar on Monday to discuss advanced humanitarian issues. U.S. State Department said that at least 6 U.S. citizens have been killed since the 7th of October rampage into Israel by Hamas. Israeli Army spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari on Monday stated that they discovered a factory that produced weapons and unmanned aerial vehicles under a mosque in Gaza City. The White House has said that U.S. President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping have agreed to meet once again, but did not specify a date for that. 3 people were killed and 8 others were injured in an overnight missile attack and shelling in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk and Kharkiv regions. Missiles hit a hospital and a coal mine in the town of Selidov. 4 buildings, including 19 vehicles and a power line, were also damaged in the attack. In a video address dedicated to the Day of Dignity and Freedom, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Ukrainians will not allow their freedom to be taken away. Taking a dig at Ukraine, Russia said that coexistence is not possible with Ukraine's current regime as it is very toxic. The U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin has announced $100 million in new military aid to Ukraine during a surprise visit to Kyiv on Monday. South Africa is hosting a virtual summit of the BRICS group of nations on Tuesday to discuss the Israel-Hamas war. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz hosted the leaders of 13 compact with Africa countries on Monday at Berlin's Chancellery as he pushed African countries to proceed with the African Free Trade Area. The 10th meeting of the dialogue mechanism between China and Russia was held on Monday via a video link. Leaders of both the countries applauded high level of strategic partnership between the nations with assurance of stronger bilateral cooperation in future. Britain and South Korea are set on deepening cooperation and launch negotiations on an upgraded free trade deal as the South Korean president begins his 3-day state visit to England. At least 1 person was killed and 3 people were injured in a shooting at a Walmart store in Ohio, where a man opened fire with an assault rifle. Spain's new cabinet swear in their new charges to King Felipe on Tuesday as most of the senior ministers retained their positions. In one of the country's largest mafia trials, an Italian court convicted more than 230 mobsters and their associates for a slew of charges, including extortion, drug trafficking and theft. A Los Angeles court ordered rapper A$AP Rocky to stand trial on assault charges that claimed he pointed and fired a handgun at his childhood friend, causing minor injuries back in the year 2021. United Arab Emirates prepares to host the upcoming COP28 summit on the 30th of November and plans to put spotlight on its progressive environmental efforts with a particular focus on Bustani Ka, the world's largest vertical farm. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres will travel to Antarctica this week with Chilean President Gabriel Boric to observe the impact of rising temperatures caused by climate change on the continent. They aim to see the melting ice and native species. Guterres will also address the UN Climate Summit COP28 afterwards, advocating for action to address the crisis. According to the recent United Nations analysis, despite countries' climate change pledges will lead to nearly 3 degrees Celsius of warming this century, the UN Secretary General called the current emissions trends a dead end. Heavy storms in southern Brazil has caused deaths of at least 4 people over the weekend. The substantial flooding of rivers left several villages cut off. At least 31,000 people were affected by the rains in Rio Grande do Sul, while more than 1,600 were evacuated. Thousands of residents were evacuated to a gym and a park for safety. Local residents said that they have lost nearly everything and will have to start their lives from scratch. Authorities prepare for evacuating residents in the vicinity of Mount Ulawon of Papua New Guinea as it erupted on Monday afternoon, spewing volcanic smoke as high as 15,000 meters. Some flights from the island's Hoskins airports were also cancelled as a precautionary measure. A recent study by the University of Cambridge University for Sustainability Leadership has revealed the possibility for affluent nations to supply a combined $25 billion annually to safeguard 100 of the most vulnerable countries against climate disasters, with a mere $10 million per nation. In Iceland, a massive lava diverting wall is being built near Grindavik to protect the Svartsengi geothermal power plant. The region is under threat due to heightened seismic activity and undergoing lava flows. The situation led to the evacuation of nearly 4,000 people. As extreme winter sets in, thousands of Afghan citizens expelled by Pakistanis are facing extremely harsh conditions. Tens of thousands of Afghans moved back to the Taliban-ruled state after Pakistan announced expulsion of undocumented migrants. According to the Central Pollution Control Board, pollution levels in India's capital, New Delhi, increased with the air quality index recorded at 365 on Tuesday. The Indian Meteorological Department said that the minimum temperature was 11.5 degrees Celsius and humidity was at 91%. Moving on to business and economy, the Indian benchmark indices snapped their two-day losing run as Sensex gained 276 points to end at 65,931. Nifty shot at 19,783, higher by 89 points. The Indian rupee settles 3 paise higher at 83.35 against the US dollar. Gold future maturing on the 5th of December stood at 60,956 rupees per 10 grams on Multi-Commodity Exchange of India Limited. Silver futures maturing on the 5th of December stood at 72,900 rupees per kilogram on the MCX. On Tuesday, Brent crude futures fell 80 cents to $81.52 US per barrel, while the US West Texas Intermediate crude futures also dropped by 80 cents to $77.03 US. The US dollar reached new lows against major currencies like the euro and the yen as China boosted the yuan, leading to a broader decline for the dollar. Wall Street's three major US stock averages closed higher on Monday, with Nasdaq leading the gains. Social media company X on Monday sued media watchdog group Media Matters, alleging the organization defamed the platform after it published a report that said ads for major brands appeared next to posts touting Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. Commercial banks in China have lowered their interest rates for consumer loans, with some keeping their annualized interest rates as low as 3%. 21st November marks the Day of Television every year. Announced by the United Nations General Assembly back in the year 1996, the day celebrates the role of television in shaping world communication and impacting reach of geo-televisual communication on the global scenario. Farmers in the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir have started the cultivation of Japan's famous fruit persimmon, locally known as amlok. Disney's first Frozen-themed land has opened to the public at the Hong Kong Disney Resort. An exhibition titled An Atlas of East Devlin, showcasing British artist and stage designer East Devlin creative process, is currently underway in New York City. In an annual tradition, the Champs-Élysées, a cultural hotspot in France, was illuminated with Christmas lights. US First Lady Dr. Jill Biden received the official White House Christmas tree, an 18.5-feet Fraser fir that was grown in the state of North Carolina. November the 22nd will mark the 60th anniversary of former US President John F. Kennedy's assassination. Despite having one of the shortest tenures of any US president, Kennedy significantly changed the office of the US presidency. In the world's highest race of its kind, over 2,000 participants ascended an impressive height of 552 meters for the 2023 Shanghai Tower Vertical Marathon that took place at China's tallest building, Shanghai Tower. The United Arab Emirates continues to progress towards solar-powered green hydrogen production with their Green Hydrogen project. The collaborative initiative with DEWA Expo 2020 Dubai and Siemens Energy underscores the UAE's commitment to combating climate change and also driving global efforts towards a greener future. After 2 years of piloting the public bicycle service, it has gained popularity among the people as nearly 300,000 people have registered for public bicycle rental in Vietnam's Ho Chi Minh City. The rental service has enhanced connectivity for residents and tourists with the other public transportation modes. Presently, there are 43 rental stations offering approximately 500 bikes in the Vietnamese city. In a new initiative to combat social isolation, UK's capital city London has introduced chatty benches that encourages strangers to talk to each other. The annual photography exhibition called Rekam Jakarta is underway in Indonesia's capital, Jakarta. The exhibition showcases 141 single-image photos and 15 sequential photos of various events in Jakarta between 1998 and 2023. The internationally known 12-foot-tall Little Amal, a 10-year-old Syrian refugee girl's puppet, visited the Basilica of Guadalupe in Mexico City. The puppet, a symbol of the struggle for the human rights of refugees, walked around the church grounds, captivating thousands of visitors who marveled at its gait and message in support of refugees. An exhibition titled Astra Lumina, set to open to public on the 24th of November, invited guests. The art installation, brought to life by multimedia entertainment studio Moment Factory, combines lighting, projections and sounds to create an immersive experience. New Netflix adaptation of All the Light We Cannot See presents a breakthrough in representation for blind and low vision performers with the series' lead actor Arya Mia Luberti. The newcomer actor Arya Luberti, who is legally blind and plays a blind French girl called Mary Laurie in the film, expressed her pride in serving as a catalyst for change for the blind community. Bollywood icon Madhuri Dixit was honoured with a special recognition for contribution to Bharatiya cinema for her contribution to the Indian film industry for 4 decades at the International Film Festival of India 2023. The 45th edition of the Festival of the 3 Continents, commencing in France on the 24th of November, is set to host a 9-film retrospective of celebrated Indian actor Amitabh Bachchan. Global television stars gathered in New York for the 51st International Emmy Awards, where 56 nominees from 20 countries competed in 14 categories. Indian actor and comedian Veer Das backed the Best Comedy Series for his Netflix series special called Veer Das Landing at the International Emmy Awards. Indian filmmaker Ekta Kapoor was honoured with the International Film Directorate Award for her trailblazing career and impact on the Indian television landscape. Australia and Mexico won big at the International Emmy Awards this year, taking home prizes in 3 categories, while Mexican-American actress producer Carla Souza was a double winner for her project La Saeda. Cast of the new musical adaptation of 1982 novel The Colour Purple walked the red carpet for the London premiere. The film is set to arrive in theatres on the 25th of December. Award-winning musician John Batiste and his wife, journalist and author Suleika Jawod, tell their story of triumph over tragedy in new documentary called American Symphony. The film releases on Netflix on the 29th of November. Korean pop group Stray Kids have scored their first Billboard Hot 100 entry with their song La La La. This makes Stray Kids This makes them the second ever K-pop boy band to chart on the Billboard Hot 100 after BTS. Korean pop boy band BTS has announced a documentary titled BTS Monuments Beyond the Star with an emotional teaser. The first and second episodes will release on December the 20th on Disney+. Moving on to sports, Team India faced a heart-wrenching loss against Australia in the ICC Cricket World Cup finale on Sunday, and despite the World Cup loss, for indomitable spirit that was displayed, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met the team. On India's World Cup loss, former Indian World Cup winning captain Kapil Dev said that sports need to really move on and we can't undo hard work. Team India played fantastic cricket. Ahead of the Davis Cup tournament that is all set to take place in Spain, world number 1 Novak Djokovic arrived in Malaga. Many young stars are set to compete after an 8-year pause in the upcoming IBA 4 Junior Boxing Championship in Yerevan at the end of this year. The 6 shirts worn by Messi at 2022 World Cup are expected to fetch a record price in the auction later this month. Italy qualified for Euro 2024 after drawing 0-0 against Ukraine in their final Group C qualifier. European champions Italy finished second, level on 14 points with third-place Ukraine. After the defeat in their final Group C qualifier on Monday, Ukrainians can still secure a spot through the playoffs. Barcelona midfielder Gavi tore his anterior cruciate ligament on international duty with Spain and needs surgery. His club has confirmed. Dakar Rally will return to Saudi Arabia in 2024 for the 5th time, with riders crossing the desert with the promise of more tunes and challenging terrain in the 46th edition of the famed race. And in a stand-up paddling world championship in Thailand of athletes who churned through the waters of Pattaya, the biggest ever edition of the world championship drew competitors from 52 nations as they raced their way through the technically long distance and sprint disciplines. And with this, it's a wrap here on Express News for now, but news and updates will continue here on DD India. So don't go anywhere. Keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates. Thank you so much for joining us right now.